And that was it. I also have some other pictures later on, and we're going to try to be over at 8 o'clock. But if anybody else wants to stay or hear other tall tales or something like that, I'm never going to run out. So, Ned, Bobby, go ahead.
I want to welcome everybody here tonight. Appreciate you showing up. Anyway, Mark got on here. I dropped him off till today. I was glad to get him on one of the larger vessels that come in here. This ship was 150,000 long tons. 150,000 tons. And we have this size ship shoulder.
How long was it? How wide was it, Ned?
It was 900 foot long and 157 foot deep. I believe Bobby brought him in here the other day.
Ingleside and shifting into this particular berth. The requirements is pilots. Anything over 130,000 dead weight or 900 feet long, we put 2 pilots. Because of the limited space we have to turn on the basins, we have a pilot watching, so we can watch both ends. This ship's 900 foot long. The basin that it was turned in after it left dock here, it just came off about this picture here. We're looking west, further into the next berth. But the pilots that run with it, they're backing it down using the assist boats, the water tugs, because the ship's a single screw and they catch a lot of wind. Our main concern is tug power and what the elements are that we're up against to actually safely back the ship out and turn the ship in the basin. We have little landmarks and stuff. If you'll notice the little mesquite tree on the bank there, that kind of, it shows us the widest point of that particular basin.
That's New Aces Bay in the background, by the way, just so for reference.
You must have hired that there. We do have another pirate second back. Sometimes they refer to it as that.
Just so you know where they're at. They're pretty far back in the port. That's New Aces Bay, you see in the background.
And this is all man-made up here. That's all spoil bridge. The New Aces River dumps just a mile or so just to the west of what you're seeing here to your left.
And how wide is the turning basin at that point?
This particular turning basin is one of our larger turning basins. We got about 1,500 in there. But they put a bunch of, we had also where they put a bunch of barges, stacked barges until they're called to berth, so they're taking some of that away. So we've got about 1,200. The ship's 1,000, so 900. So there's not a whole lot of room there.
This channel here is all man-made. The Oasis River, just out the river, when you see there's the bay, Oasis Bay, where the Oasis River dumps into. This is all man-made. The captains on the ships are always asking us about the tide and current. And of course, there's no tide range here. It's only about 2 feet, the tide range. But it's nice not having a lot of current. That's like the harbor tugs, just the wind that we have to maybe deal with here.
We're pretty close. Running down the neck of Chicago.
That's Thule turning basin.
It
Used to be full of Thule reeds, right? When it was a big swamp area, I think, wasn't it? That's why it's called Thule turning.
That's right. That's how we do it. That's on out as we leave the Tudor Lake turning basin, which Chicago is just dug out and made for turning the ships. And then they have the rail lift. One of the other ship captains are amazed when they see this Tudor Lake lift bridge. There's just very few of them in the world out there. Most of them are swing bridges or lift bridges. This is actually on cables that lift up, so then they go back down for rail traffic when it's not,
So everybody is oriented. The very first picture was heading west, and we're about northeast here.
Yes, real close.
So we backed up very, very slowly and started to pivot. And where does a ship pivot? It doesn't pivot in the center.
No, it's usually about a third of the way from the bow if you're using the rudder. Now, depending on what tug you're pushing, the pivot point will travel up and down the ship. And if you get, the same power exactly, it will pivot to the center. But if you want to adjust where you're going to end up in the base and stuff, you can just put more power on the tug. You can kind of, it's a hunting field.
You see Captain Murphy, he's in the window there, and wonderful fellow. He's an ordained minister. He just preached at a funeral for us the other day. And he's the senior pilot, the one that's conning the ship in this picture.
The ship has made its turn. We're still in the Lake Basin, but it's finished its turn. And we're probably on a southeast headed, close to it, or east. And that's heading out of the water. It's like the smaller vessel you see with the tow line on.
That's where they were, where the tugboat in the background is. They were.
This is the latest toy that we just got here. It's a tractor tug. It can go maneuver around in circles. It's really helped us out.
You mean this one here?
Yeah, that's the latest tugboat technology right there.
So we've turned that big ship, the big ship is turned around now. We're 180 degrees approximately where we were, and then you have the tractor tug behind that is going to stay pulling the stern.
We're past that vessel.
Why are we doing this?
Because of the speed, when you have a vessel moored alongside another berth, and you come out of the vessel of this size, the water displacement is, what did you say, 150,000?
150,000.
And as you move past, of course, you're pulling water as you go, and as you come by, you're pulling water. So if it's a deep load, there's nowhere for the water to go underneath it or on the ground, and it's more resistant setting, you'll break the lines on the ship laying at the dock. So you use this like a drag race car would use as a parachute. You're backing the tug to hold the speed back on the ship as you're exiting and passing other vessels.
We probably average anywhere about 3.5 knots going through the harbor. It's slow.
Of course, it's dictated by the element ship. You've got a little high wind. You're using tug power, and you sometimes have to use ship power to
The tugboat helps keep your speed down, and you can keep the maneuverability of the ship because you can continue using the propeller. So you have good steerage with the tugboat backing it eliminates your headway, keeps your speed down. Otherwise, without the tugboat backing, you'd get up to 6 or 7 knots, and you'd be breaking the other ships off the dock on your way
and
out.
then you get severe riders when you
Do they switch fuels from comfort fuel to
a lot of times, a lot of ships do. The new engines where they don't have the newer technology with these diesel ships. They don't have to switch to heavy fuel. Some of them don't. Most of the ships you see when they're importing the new speed, they use diesel.
Right.
And then they'll switch over and see what the heavy fuel is. More economical.
So they can stop their engines. If they stop their engines on heavy fuel, it'd be on all the fuel lines, and then you wouldn't be able to get the fuel.
It takes them about an hour to switch from heavy fuel to diesel because all your fuel lines come in the injectors and everything. And that real heavy fuel is just almost like gasoline. It's really heavy. And it's got to be at a certain temperature to be able to flow through it. So what they do is what makes it diesel as they get closer to the port until they wash all the heavy fuel out. Because if you like to stop the engine, it's not moving.
It's a bunker seat,
And
almost like
it'll
glass.
solidify, and then it's a major problem with the main engine. It's almost
This is on the way out on the approach to the Lake Lift Bridge that Captain Grumbles was speaking of earlier. We'll get a good shot of that.
that's one of the things. So this is,
It's a 275. What's the width of the bridge?
300.
300, they say.
what it is, it's cut. That's actual, that's straight. Usually all the channels cut on a 3-1 slope, so it doesn't carry on the sides. But so when they say 300 here, it's 300.
Very close.
The ship is 100, just right out of 100, just less than 160 foot. You can have one tug on a stern, and you have a tug either laid up on one bow or the other. That's what's being on the tug, 35.
About 30, 35 feet.
So you have another 100 miles, so we're at about 95, there's 300 foot of plane. It looks less than that. Actually, got a little less than 300.
This is when we're quite puckered up.
You know,
This is last Monday.
No, we're about to show.
He sailed at 1:30. Got Martin on that.
This is another ship that comes out. This is the port elevator was referred to, the port used to own it, they sold it to ABM.
Aggregate.
This facility here, they loaded some of the first product to be shipped to Cuba, which is
Right.
kind of interesting. They got a contract, with some of the first American
This is your passport.
products going to Cuba came from that particular berth just about a year ago.
And this is in the main basin, right before the harbor bridge. This is the Coast Guard depot where they do a lot of repairs along our navigation ways. And this is the harbor bridge.
Both bridges just are exactly 138 feet above the water.
1.8 foot.
So that's real important. That's one of our big problems that we got to calculate the air draft, we call it, on the ship. And
The tide is a
know
big
what the
factor.
tide, like tropical storms here, we need to know before we leave, or we'll whack the bridge. We've all probably touched it a few times. It's not, it doesn't make them very happy.
Just with antennas though, only the antennas.
That's another one.
Amen.
They'll put you under the jail. Of course, this is the Lexington, which is a nice display museum of the aircraft area. This is where outbound, heading due east.
So there's the range lights too, PAPHA, east range, you kind of hard to see, there you go.
That's what we use if they're in line. It's kind of like an arrow.
You can see it, show the, I think you can see the other range, Mark, it's just above it.
back
Here you
here.
go. It's real hard to see, but when those are in line, we're going to center line of the jacket.
Use lights to navigate the ship by, so you know where the center of the ship channel is, you keep those lights in line.
A lot of times the shrimp boats are out there, and
We don't have a lot of trouble. I mean, they're there, and they usually work with us. The problem we have is the Rockport group comes over with the Vietnamese rangers. They're hard to work with. The way the ranges work, the after range would be like the tail feather of the arrow. The forward range would be like the point of the arrow. And as you're looking at it, if they do this, that arrow would be pointing this way. So they tell you to come to the ship, you need to come to your starboard a little more. And that's how those flight lights are. And that gives you, keeps you in the center of the channel.
And it's a good exercise, the next time you take the ferry, look towards
Yeah.
San Jose Island, and then you can see them line up, and you'll know when you're in the center.
That's right, that's right.
Naval Station Ingleside, it's closing slowly.
That crane right there will lift, what is that,
7,000
7,000 tons?
7,000
And then that's Gulf Marine at Ingleside, there's another crane at the Kiewit facility that will lift
That tug there,
14,000
that's
tons.
$1,000.
It's quite, actually real, that's a huge amount of weight that they pick up.
Island orange, Caster's cut, or Piper cut, whatever you refer to, there's several names of it.
And the reason I put these in here was that, you probably read the South Jetty, they're finishing up the seawall along Charlie's Pasture, and this area over here, let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, maybe I missed it.
That's inside the channel there.
Oh, here we
There you
go.
are.
Okay. Anyway, there's a rock revetment that they're working on, and then there's machinery out there. And they really are moving along. And then this is eastward, where they, on the other side of the Caster's. They're digging a deep ditch, lining the rock in there, and making that revetment.
Yeah, this isn't an isolated problem, the erosion along the channel here. I worked out of Lake Charles for a number of years, and it's been a big problem for a lot of ports because these ships have gotten much larger, moving a lot more water.
Just natural currents also goes, smaller vessels.
Yeah, okay.
Once they stabilize it, it should be a little less traumatic to some. We won't take all the weight. Big pilots. Although the island wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the dredge pull from the
American getting ready to go home.
Now, you know, if you saw the original picture that he had up, the dangler actually on the dock, and you could, everything was stabilized and tied. And boarded the ship for this. This is marketing lesson. We do everything underway. Because we're trying to find the best lee side, and we can change courses to give us a lee side which breaks the rotors that are coming in. It gives us
It's probably the more dangerous part of us getting on and off the ship, especially during heavy weather.
On
so we try
small
to pick the lee
ships.
side of the ship, the downwind side, or the down sea side.
Do you work a certain period of time in case when the ship's in or on the boat?
Well, we have a certain number of members, and we split us up, and we work for 2 weeks on and 2 weeks on. It's when the ship's called, we go. If we're real busy, we'll have to more than one ship a day sometimes. We like to average about 1.5 a day, as we comfortable.
24 hours.
24 hours a day. We're on, we'll rotate the simple rotation. Ned's at the top of the list, Todd's next, first ship, then we'll give the next order, Todd will get, then I'll get the next, and then we just rotate through. We stay within, federal law on how many hours we stay. That's, at the bottom of the gangway, fixing to step across to it's called a combination ladder. When it's just when we're at the dock, it's a combination. This is a combination because you're using the fixed ladder plus what they refer to as a pop ladder. It's a rope.
Jacob's ladder is also strung out alongside there. He's climbing off the way down.
And after you get to the bottom of the combination, you step across to the Jacob's ladder or a pop ladder. And the boat's coming in, we're making probably 8 to 10 miles, maybe a little less there. And he's going down the road ladder now, which is and the boat will come in at the same speed, he'll match speeds, and he'll come in and send him follow the step off just like he's doing. Zoom in, you can see where he's making the step on that one.
How many broken legs take the night?
But you usually don't break the leg. If you get caught in the water, it's pretty much over. The ship suction takes you down.
How many pilots this year, Bobby? I think 2 have fallen off the ladder this year, and I think one of them
Very
actually around.
lucky, one of the Galveston survived, probably
Yeah, that-
boat capsized.
Yeah,
All
all
of
the
us off the ladder.
West Coast.
Of course, the West Coast, we lost one last year. There's about 3,000, 3,500 in the nation is all there, for us ships. So we've got a pretty close brotherhood. It's always sad when you hear.
We have a new pilot boat coming too. Old is that boat? Almost
17
20 years
now, I
old.
believe, or 16 years.
I think he's supposed to be getting close to 20 now.
18, about 18, 17, 18 years old now.
March 20th is supposedly the delivery date of our new boat.
Right, that's
We're all excited about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. How many pilots are there working over here?
There's 12 ranch pilots, we have 2 apprentices. So we'll have a total of 14.
Now, does the Corpus Christi Port furnish you, do they charge the big boats coming in for your services, or?
We do personally, we're a private association. And, we're kind of like compared to a law firm. We have, we do have to, we go before the pilot commission, pilot board for tariff increases and stuff like that. But we're governed by the Texas state pilot laws that was written.
So your firm charges the owners of the boats?
That's right, we direct charge to, they have local agents that we actually send the bill to, and they send it to owners, agents, and then it gets back to the charter, but anyway, yeah, we don't direct.
Now, how do you get
But
back?
there's a
and forth?
tariff that the port
Charges?
charges. There's a tariff that the port charges.
The tariff, the port also has it for their wharfing rates and for using their docks and all that, that's a separate charge that the port handles themselves.
How do you get back and forth from purpose that you're going?
We have 14 cars that we keep online, personal, that the association owns, and then we have contracts with taxi cabs. And,
All 3 of us live here in Port Aransas, and there's several that live in Corpus, a couple in Flower Bluff, and
It's a nightmare during spring break.
yeah.
Afraid not to be on shift during spring break.
One more question, how much clearance did you have to the bottom of that big boat?
the draft, I brought it in at about 32 foot, so we have 40 foot, photograph. That's 45 plus 1 under Corps of Engineers. So the different areas it shallows up and changes.
It's about 8 feet underneath. What was that? Was that ship 37-foot draft?
Actually, I come in 32.6.
Okay.
We bring in, our controlling depth is 45 feet,
Maximum.
and normally we have at least 2 meters of clearance on the keel, but
The
it varies.
ship, and the ship channel's mostly cut from about 48 foot deep to 50 foot deep. The deepest ships we bring in are 45 feet deep. So there's not a whole lot of clearance on maximum draft. I mean, you figure you're in a little john boat out there fishing for redfish, and we have 3 or 4 feet of water underneath you. Well, sometimes that's the same amount that we have underneath these big ships.
And that's the center of the channel. That's not,
You got different quadrants, you got outside, border, right, inside, left, inside, left, outside. So it's cut in different, so that we have all those readings, But it's called, what you're guaranteed is 45 foot plus 1 is the trolling depth. It's always guaranteed by the Corps.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned you have 2 apprentices, I guess, in training, and I doubt that people are natural-born pilots. What kind of background do y'all come from?
I come off the party boats and walk out the strap, got legs off deep sea.
Yeah, that's true. One of the tugs back there, I work.
Deep sea,
Ocean tugs.
Todd was one of the harbor tug captains.
Y'all remember
It's
the
kind of small.
Corpus Christi phone book that had the tugboat, the red tugboat alongside the ship? That was the last tugboat I was a captain of. That's right.
So you can kind of, I can't do the backboard
Any
race.
sorts.
Lots of other pilots are.
Now it's, most all pilots, a big portion of the pilots, the pilot groups are requiring more education. A lot of them come from the maritime colleges, from West Coast, East Coast, here at A&M in Galveston. That's a good start.
The best training though is
Best training is
boat
tugboat.
handling, tugboats, any small boats. The physics are the same, it's just on a bigger scale.
Yeah, it's a whole lot
Any
to
small
it.
boat.
Just working on the tugs and stuff, you learn the lingo of harbor talk, learn to adjust your ear to the radio. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, but you can start with a skiff here and go around and just work your way up.
Yes,
So
sir.
your deal is the actual hands-on maneuverability and handling it. When they come out of the academies, they usually come out as a third mate. That's a secretary for the second and first mate and captain on the ship. They do a lot of chart updates and really, they never get hands-on experience of handling the characteristics of vessels. And then so the ship captains that come on, we really have to go into really extensive training. Seagoing tug captains and the harbor tug captains, they've already had all the actual boat handling experience and everything, so they're really adapt quick to get ships pilot. So the education part of it and coming off the ships, they're trained, anything within 2 miles of their long boats over there. So they got to completely recondition their minds because of the close proximity they're operating in, coming into the channels. So they got to be completely, almost,
Retard.
completely retrained. So it takes a little, not every, at the main group of them, it takes them a little longer to actually, to be a ship handler versus the guys off the tugs, small boat ship handling or whatever.
Coast Guard test is something awful too, isn't it? It's really hard.
When you look at it the first time, you think, man, I don't know.
That's
It's just-
overwhelming.
It changed somewhat, but I said in 1980 when they had the Coast Guard station here. My cousin and I, Captain Nelson, he's a pilot at Lake Charles, and it took us 10 days to sit for the test, counting the weekend. It was all essay and stuff. So the test has changed somewhat. You still have to draw. I had to draw a chart on rice paper. We were very thin and do an overlay on the original chart. Everything had to match up the beacons.
You have to draw the chart from
To
your
scale.
head. You get latitude and longitude line,
From memory, everything's.
compass rose,
They
and
make
then
it
the
up,
hollow
it's got
scale.
like
Then you draw the chart out of your head.
height of the buoys, the beacons, the numbers, depth of water they're in, the distance between the ranges. It's just all down to memory. Like I said, when your first thought of it, but once you get, it's amazing what you can train your mind and remember what you did.
It is for specific orders.
That's right. They put a specific route on our unlimited pilot license. Corpus Christi and connecting tributaries, which is the Quinta Channel, the Rockport Cutter, ICW, and all into the inner harbor of Corpus Christi. So that we're held with this particular. Now you can go and set for other boards. A lot of, if they're trying, when they're putting their application in to become a pilot, the different ports, a lot of times they'll put them in and set and get pilotage for more than one port, and then it gives them more than one area. It helps their odds make it fun. Like I say, you got a little over 3,000 in the nation. So,
Are those freshwater from the Great Lakes, are you all the same association?
no, well, each individual port has their own association. And we're, under federal law, our Coast Guard license handles all the American flagships. Their jurisdiction doesn't extend into the foreign flagships. We get our commission, state commission from the governor of Texas gives us, they have jurisdiction over the foreign flagships. Now, the Coast Guard will do the investigation and send a recommendation up to the port commission or pilot commission to take action. This is, of course, the federal government or the Coast Guard could actually file a civil suit. But as far as them actually on foreign flag vessels coming in and really prosecuting, if there was negligence or whatever, the size of the accident and the dollar amount and loss of life, how many barrels are spilled or whatever. It just depends, that's the kind of house. Keeps us in check.
Yeah, sure.
I was talking to the fellow that runs the pilot book years ago by UT on the side, and I said, the pilot service what boats? He said if it carries a foreign flag, it has a pilot. One, is that real true?
Yes.
That is true.
Yes, sir.
What's required from the ship?
But wait, let me finish my question. Therefore, what ship can come through here without a pilot?
American flag vessel.
American flag?
But it depends on the tonnage of the vessel
So,
too. American flag vessel, if that captain has a federal pilot license, he can pilot his own vessel. Have you ever seen, I never have ever
No,
seen.
here's what the requirements are for the requirement for pilots, for somebody to come in. If a tank barge, which is a ship or whatever, over 10,000 gross tons, cannot enter the port without a pilot on board. If it's foreign flagged, registered foreign, or carrying foreign product. The only variation from that is if a mate or the captain of the vessel has the proper pilotage for the route that he is going to, and it takes a certain amount of trips in that before he's allowed to set first license and all that. But very rarely you'll see, because the underwriters on insurance and stuff, you'll see some seagoing towing barges, the seagoing towing barges a lot, now they, just in the last 10 years, I would say, usually they wouldn't recommend. But the company has put the pressure on them to save money for the company. So they've all set for their license, and they want to be a pilot somewhere. And so they actually bring some of their own vessels in. But any actual ships, even foreign flag, American flag with people with the license, they don't, because of the company policy, the insurance underwriters or whatever, they just don't allow.
So the Texas Treasure, I've seen it by Amy and Flag.
And they take a pilot every time.
Every time.
Every time. Yes.
I'm thinking of the incident down in New Orleans about 10 years ago where there was, as I recall, the newspaper, which is not necessarily reliable, said that there was a dispute between the captain or a language barrier, it was a Chinese vessel, ran into the hotel, and there was a dispute between the captain and the pilot as to who was doing what. What is your relationship?
The relationship between the captain and the pilot is that when the pilot comes on board, the captain relinquishes the comm or the maneuvering of the ship to the pilot. The captain is never not responsible for a ship. Now, if he feels that the pilot is incompetent or negligent, he can actually come back and take over the ship. When he does that, then it's all his. The pilot steps back and says, it's yours. And so whatever happens from that point on, it's all the captain. Because the pilot's going to say, hey, look at communication gap between, normally, red Chinese is our worst
Yeah.
problem that we have in is Chinese. Because it's just a lack of communications. Now, they'll say, oh, yes, pilot, yes, okay.
Yeah, that was the problem up there. We're gonna think, what was that, ship the Bright Star or whatever, and, whenever we go on board ship, we have a master pilot conference, you know, first thing is your ship operators, are there any problems that we need to know? That's where they had failure up there, the captain didn't tell the pilot that he had an engine problem, and that's what happened, the engine failed going into the turn.
Okay.
It went into the docks there and wiped it out. Yeah, we always discuss
Yeah,
first thing,
I have a question.
air draft also.
I have to ask a history question then. When did the pilot, the association actually become an association, and when did you, prior to that, who piloted and how did you get pilots for boats in here, you know, before you guys were all organized? Do you know that? You probably know because your family's involved.
We believe in 1949 they became the Corpus Christi pilots, and I really can't answer the question for that. I'm not really sure.
And we have an old pilot sheet back in 1874. There's a couple of names on there that they used before VHF radio or AM radio and all that was all done by flag system. The pilots, there was two here, either airport rangers or cars.
You know, the channel, the channel was dug in stages, okay? I have a chart of 1891. There at Fairland, it was only like 2 or 3 feet of water there. That was all flats, you know. If you can picture this, you know, Charlie's pasture is all Dresdville all the way to Ingleside.
Just like these flats.
So they used to, selling vessels used to sell up toward Rockport. And, past the lighthouse was the old quarantine station on that shell bank. We all went up there trout fishing. Ships used to run up there and go around to Corpus Christi. But anyway, they started digging the channel in the 20s, building a jetty, I guess, and expanding. It stopped at Ingleside and worked its way on in Corpus Christi. Stopped at the lift bridge, and then they dug it all the way up to where it is now, Suntide Road, Old Arcade.
Louisiana has been pretty deep most all the time. The actual entrance to the channel was run up and down St. Joe, back this way, from different, the bars, the water was there, it would move, the bars would build up on different tides and currents that would be on the other flood. So the local guys, the pilots, require, to stay green, but however, deadlines or stakes or whatever. I'm just imagining this. From what I see on the drafts, around 8 foot, 9 foot was the deepest in 1874 or 94 on the actual testing. And they went on up to Lydia and seemed to hold pretty good water because all the big tall ships went into rock. They would come through here and they shoot up by the lighthouse and then rock, or at least they do, like I say, the quarantine shuttle and all that before they actually made Corpus Christi. So I haven't done enough research, to be honest with you, on the gentleman that Ranges Pass had a shot at doing the city of Ranges Pass. When William went to Rockport, then they let businessmen in Corpus Christi on North Beach decided he had a shot at it, and then they actually pulled it away from the Rockport area and
Didn't, I think there were some storms too that messed up the dredging going into Rockport, like Rockport had.
I remember the 1990s storm,
Yeah.
the 1910s storm, they changed their whole.
There's a couple of hurricanes back to back that wiped out Rockport and tore up all the railway infrastructure. And they started dredging into Corpus, and actually Rockport was the big Corpus that you played before Corpus was. They lost it.
If you run, the channel goes, like I said, you make a turn out here at Arbor, and when we turn 100 degrees, it's 40 degrees over.
Oh, it goes from 258 to 270.
So that, the reason that little dog leg is in there is because I think Landis County, Aegis County was a little feud over who was gonna help do some funding, and one of the counties was pitching, so they just run it, and so we make that.
Sam Patricia.
You know, San Patricia would go around it, and, you know, many years ago, this is why the town does it, this little dog thing out there.
Yeah, they just now got a member on the
San Patricia.
board
Or
over there.
It's just all politics, like it is. They back then when they were doing the channel, and they just had stronger lobbyists and partners. They just directed all the main, the merchant, docks and wars and all that. Rockport, and that's passed that out.
Military ships.
Yeah, we do that. When we finish our apprenticeship, we're in the process there, we all get national security clearance. Make sure we have them bad boys. Somehow or another, we probably not passed. Anyway.
A lot of times when a Navy captain takes command of the smaller mine hunters or mine sweepers, we will at first be done all. And we set up a little program to do some educating at the base itself, and then they will run their ship 3 to 5 times with them on it until they feel comfortable with it. So after that,
There's some military guys.
any larger military ship, we have to run. Because, you know, unfortunately, they put so much pressure on the captains of the military vessels, you know, from being a up-and-coming major captain on a Lloyd's aircraft, they go through this, you know, different steps. They have a grounding or any, which we, you know, grounding is, we might not like that. If it's in the military, Navy, they go behind this. Their career, and it's a shame they put that much pressure. But I mean, really, it usually shuts their career down. And yeah, there's no second chance for the guys.
In the photos there, we have 3 military ships, military sea level command. They carry the railroad ships, been carrying all the war material over to Iraq. Anyway, they're based here now, they do their maintenance and what have you. Those ships are 950 foot long. The big boys.
Real high power,
Yeah.
power's almost on the speed. We moved a lot of different several different category units when the war started, and we brought back a lot of the returning military vehicles. It's not really good.
The military is real actually
We get to
uses,
see it.
it's easy to maintain security here. A lot of the channels are lined up. Louisiana.
This is one of the last little turns that we had here. This is Collins Point. There's a university through it, it's a big university. Our office is just, we're all right there. Our office. And we're just almost done. Now, some of that turn that we just, Harbor Island turn is one of the most treacherous turns because of the different opposing currents that work in the age. We get to really have to put the power on the ship to get speed up to negotiate that turn a lot of times. Different wind speeds and currents, mainly the currents that affects the vehicle and the ship's flight particularly. We're looking at the jetties here, fixed to clear jetties. This is the bridge of the ship. We usually about 4 of us on the bridge of the ship. And one of the small Navy vessels are 17 people. Can't even move. So that's not small. We do it, the big ships is about 4.
On the bridge, we have a quartermaster. He actually steers the ship, and we give regular commands or a course to steer. Then you got your mate, the first, second, third mate, whoever's on watch, he'll run the engine commands. And the captain, he sit over there with his rosary beads.
The Greeks, they call them word Greeks. The Greeks, as soon as they come to the jetty, they say, well, no, like I said, everything, you know, within 2 miles, they don't, alarms go off on the ship, they have the radar and all the time, you know. So when they get it, it's just, I mean, if they like the weather or what, buddy, they don't have those word beads out immediately. And this is the last file. Depends on the draft. We average probably 4 hours from the Corpus Christi Bridge or the harbor, inner harbor, depending on what dock. What do you think? 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours?
And the average.
That's on board the ship, then we got travel time.
Yeah, but the transit for the ship is 4 hours.
About 4 hours.
This is Captain Rivera here. He was 29 years old. He's very young. Puerto Rican.
One of our deputies.
His father's an actual pilot there.
He was captain on American tankers. He went to A&M. They had a school here. Turned out to be an excellent pilot.
You see quite often ships, including anchored out there.
Yeah, they had 3 days of fog, so they're stacked up out there.
Waiting for you or waiting for?
Well, what they're waiting for a lot of times, whether waiting for tanks, storage, or there may be a ship in the berth that they're going to find it. So they gotta wait till they discharge and then leave, like what we call it a swap out. Then we'll run that particular ship in. If the product, for a refined product, it may not be mixed yet, and instead of taking that dock space, they can run the inlet. They'll have barges from the inlet, working, and moving, so they use the same docks as the ship. A lot of them. So instead of tying it up with the ship, while they're waiting to mix product and get the certain, whatever they're mixing, they'll just leave it out on anchor and then call it in once the product's ready, and they can handle several voyages and that. They're never waiting for a pilot. We're always ready.
Speaking of the tug a few minutes ago, the inside the big tug.
Yes.
You said it was new. Is that one of those that does not have the traditional screw and rudder? Is it chin on itself or like?
Is it azimuth or what is that?
This is the sea drive. The sea drive.
It's like the outboard, the bottom of your lower unit of your outboard, but it rotates 360 degrees. There's no rudder. They just turn it 180 degrees.
Yeah, they go sideways. They're great. Really, we only got one, and we're really glad to have it.
Actually, this is the first generation of the tractor tug. They've come a long way since they built that particular tug.
That tug was built in 1989, first generation. They're on the 4th or 5th generation Z-drives
These
now.
new Z-drive tugs, they've come so long.
We get leftovers.
We get actually with them, they get a step job. We get all the junk left over. But actually, it's done, they brought that thing. The tug was really almost like, it didn't have very many hours of use. It was designed to handle some of these nuclear subs that was coming into Charleston. Mayport.
Canaveral.
You're
all the.
We have 4 pilot boat operators, and this is the senior operator here.
He's born in AC Jack.
That's a picture of the old pilot boat, built in 1931, I believe.
I'm gonna put your pointer on it.
There you go.
There it is. And we had one in between that one. We have some more here.
There you go. Yeah, that's one of my photos.
What was that? Was that gasoline powered or what was that?
Diesel.
Diesel.
It's so double in it. Almost like a lifeboat that they put out.
That's good.
Yes, that one.
That's the pilot office on top of that building there. I was talking to Bill Smith, his father was a dispatcher.
Where is that building?
Matthews, down there where what's her name?
Virginia.
Virginia's located now. That's my exact location.
Is that right? There's a window, the village, they know a little bit, there's no, there's a, most of it.
I believe that's about 1938 now there. When the fair landed, went right into Tarpon Street and ran down to the Tarpon Inn, that's where the fair used to go. Then they put it out on Science Point.
You may have heard of Fisherman's Wharf. There's a picture of it.
There's a problem, it's separate.
A few moments ago, John had asked about some history of the bar pilots, and there's a log kept by a family, the first family in Mustang, the Mercer logs. And in that, one of the Mercer sons was a bar pilot. And the fee, circa 1875, was $4 per draft foot. So if you had a ship coming through that drafted 4 feet, that was $16 for John Mercer to see the ship
He's one
through.
of the names on that list, on that,
Right.
the test.
Yes, ma'am.
This may be a silly question, but on the big ships, what is it that attracts porpoises to the front of the ship? We've seen some of them jump out of the water, and is it the noise?
Just the place, it's, they actually throw this valve, move the water, and the noise of the ship actually only draws their attention every time they play. A little bit on the record, also on,
I've been at sea on an ocean tug, and I've had probably 300 of them. Just right out there.
That's on the actually, it's attraction, they get to play.
Now, I don't know if Bobby and Ned or anybody has seen these pictures before, but I have no clue as to who got up in an airplane and took these pictures. But this is Matthews over here, right?
Yeah,
This is
I think
Matthews.
that was Carl up
Is
there.
that Carla? And then here's the tile boat tied up on this side. And then you can see it.
That's Woody's over to the right.
It says 45 hurricane.
Oh, that is
What is that?
45. Oh, that was a good one. I went around that.
This is a bad picture, but I didn't have any other ones from the air. But, oops, here's the
That's when they're
pile.
building the pilots.
And here's our channel, and then UT, but that's changed a little bit since then.
Back up to that hurricane picture, did it, where did you see, I didn't see that logo over there.
There.
That's okay. This is the Oriental Marina.
We're pretty much
Yeah, we do.
out of those pictures now, but, well, that's the mayor. We have any more questions of the, how much is it, that was a good question, whoever asked that. Does it go by deadweight ton to figure out how much
Well, we
the
do
pile
do that.
association get?
You know, we do draft foot, there's a certain amount of draft foot, and we went to a block system. We used to go by gross tonnage, X amount of dollars per gross tonnage, and draft feet. And, then, you know, if it was over 130,000, that would charge, you know, there's different. So we've changed that to draft feet. Right now, it's, you know, measurement, length times width times a number, and then they come up with a block system, and how many blocks, percentage of blocks, and then we set that charge plus draft fee. And if it's a dead ship, the engine's running, we have to assist with multiple additional charges on it. Yes.
You know, some of us winter Texans have scanners and we keep track of what's going on as much as we can. And
Apologize.
and we all know when Sammy comes home back from vacation. And we appreciate you being here tonight because it was a busy day.
Yes.
What channel do you work on?
Well, actually, all the ship traffic is on channel 12. That's when usually we try to aim ourselves to use perfect line. Not X-rated, right? Maybe we should. When we're meeting, we're on channel 13. And you may want to censor some of that because we get to talk. It's only a 1 watt station, so we know we're fairly close to each other. And then, of course, we always monitor 60.
For your fees, is there any special consideration for a volatile cargo like LNG?
Ask them one time, so it gets first part of it.
Is there any special consideration for your fee for a volatile cargo like liquid natural gas? Liquid natural gas.
We will address that. When that particular LNG, we don't, no, that's a short sweep, no. We do go to extra precautions, the Coast Guard, it's, escort boats, we're just, coming out of the chemical plant, the channel. Now, we'll, some of the volatile chemicals will have escorts, just to keep small vessels. There is a law that there got to be a certain, this particular channel. You have 1,000 foot in front of it,
500 yard.
500 yards, there's, you know,
So was that your question, or the fee? Will there be more fee for
that was a
volatile?
combination.
That, and also any special consideration.
It's all the
I
same.
would,
There is, and there will be, the other G somewhat, we'll probably have assist coach to us a little earlier. Other than that, besides the fact that they're gonna be larger tankers, so we'll put 2 pilots on them, and so the charge will go. That will be the, as far as they're saying, because you're an LNG particular tanker, just the size of them, when they come, they will be charging for that.
yes, sir.
I don't hear it real well, but maybe you've addressed this. Basically, if you get on a ship out the end of the jetties in the Gulf, you follow that all the way to the dock, then where it's docked.
So what our job is, the pilot boat takes us out to the ships. We get off, we climb up the ladder, go on board, we actually take over the actual navigation column of, it's our responsibility. We take it all the way into whatever port, or it's in a port or out to the channel, somewhere. And once we have it safely tied up, everything that's good, we turn it back over to the captain of the ship.
In the Gulf here, we do it differently than on the East Coast. They have a river pilot, and then when he gets to his destination, they have a docking pilot on board. And here in the Gulf, we pretty much
We do all.
do it all.
We bring it in and do the docking. East and West Coast all have docking pilots. One pilot will just bring it through the actual channels, get it to the inner water, then another pilot will come on and just do the docking. So we just don't do it here, we do it all. Yes.
Would you carry your insurance with Lloyd's of London, or?
On our license, we have actually out of New York and Los Angeles, San Francisco. We have a special insurance on our license if we are filed on or taken to court to pay for our litigation, subsidized while we're in litigation. You have a question?
Yes, is the channel dredged frequently or yearly?
We have, they have, depending on where it is.
Maintenance dredging, there are places that are so worse than others, but they have to go in and do maintenance dredging.
Are you kind of in charge, you know, or
Core engineers, that's all.
they let you know?
Actually, we call them and say, look, we're getting a little, the ship is trying to run on us, so we're feeling a little cushion as we're going through a certain part of the channel. You may want to come out.
Shallow spot at the end of the
And
jetty.
you may want to come out and do some surveying, and there'll be cross cuts, every 100 or 50 to 25, whatever to where they find it. And then we'll, if it's, watch it, there's an increase or something.
There's a dredge work in the bar channel right now, the dredge Columbia, it looks like a little bitty ship.
That's what you're seeing going on
Yeah,
right here.
y'all go out there and
He's just
y'all
doing
see him out
maintenance.
there working.
Cleaning
Just
it up.
cleaning the entrance channel right now. They usually do it in the spring and then again after hurricane season.
But we get about, actually, it's about every 3 years.
Every time we have a tropical storm, we'll have a problem with shoaling after a tropical storm.
We're near the Great Lakes and the water level can be down and up, and so places shift even though,
That's right.
and so the tonnage has to be different. They have to make a half load. Does that ever happen here?
We'll adjust the draft if we have a problem a lot of times. The reoccurring is big number 10, where the dog leg is on the north jetty. It's Eddie that works there, deposits a lot of sand in, and if it's going to show, it'll start there first. So we'll a lot of times go watch it.
That first restrict our draft maybe to 42 foot
So
maximum draft
45,
instead of 45.
restricted to 42, because we got to go the other carriers where it's considered. Because on a merchant ship, it's probably, on a Navy vessel, naval design ship, it does like a regular boat. As you increase speed, it's squat by the stern. A merchant vessel is made all more cargo than we go shut up. It squats by the head. The faster you go, the more the bow goes. So you figure your speed with your 100 kilo plants and limit your drag they have a designated area just around the west, out of the water, it's hopper edge, looking at the, just hopper the oars and just dumps.
Yes, sir.
Was there some cost in deepening the channel, like if there's larger ships in here?
Yes, there is. We've done feasibility studies, me and myself.
In fact, the three of us have been up to,
We've done simulators, you know.
Corps engineer has a big place in Vicksburg, Mississippi. We've been up several times for the LNG study. Deepening the channel.
Right now, Houston is just about, we're in the process of matching us at 45. We were the deepest pool on the world. To be competitive, they've already started their Houston. They're 45. We've got the permitting, it looks like those are building studies here. And all, we'll probably say the next 10 feet. Within 10 years, it's all the way.
Well, we're past 8 o'clock. This whole thing just fascinates me. I think probably as fascinating everybody else here. The one thing that these guys have not talked about is the absolute infinitesimal number of permutations of something to go wrong or that you have to think about. And there's no way that you can study and know this kind of stuff. As you can imagine, the higher the vessel rides in the water because of the big sail. The lower it rides, the current is more effective against it. I also imagine that, and I'm just talking because I just assume that, there's some vessels that have a lot more reliability than others. And so you have to be concerned whether somebody's going to be up there ready to drop the anchor just because you don't know what's going to happen. One of the things I didn't know, I was looking over the sheet as I went on the other day, there's a line there on how many starts they can get. Depending on these big diesel engines, they're air start, and if they have to stop the engine, you go to all stop and you just want to, they're just easing down there and you don't want any more power, and you have to start